Mm, let's see here. Okay, this is the fact. That's good. Just trying to figure out if the sound's okay. Oh, for those that are here, I'm just literally testing some stuff out. I'm just doing a little bit of changing up some things with my setup here. If you guys can just chime in, let me know how the sound video quality is. And then there's also like the noise suppression going on. I'm in my basement next to my furnace, so I've been tweaking the voice suppression. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the furnace going on that's right beside me. But as well, I'm here. While I'm here, I am more than happy to answer any questions. If you guys want to talk about something, you want to talk about, where we are with the FAQ right now, we can definitely go over that. Let me know what your thoughts are of the FAQ so far. If you have some games in now, um, my opinion of the FAQ on the different rules that have come in, I'm more than happy to talk about that. Oh, perfect. What's up, guys? Ridgecraft, Battle Chicken, thanks for chiming in. Yeah, I'm super impressed with this OBS noise suppression. It seems to work pretty well. I bought a green screen as well. I'm still kind of tweaking. It doesn't go low enough, unfortunately. I have to tweak with that a little bit, but it's better than seeing an open basement for now, I guess. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out a way because I think Steve's had the same issue is having multiple like sets of mics running so that I can have more than just two people on the mic. I'm just not sure how to solve that issue yet. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way for me to be able to have more than two mics on. So if I do a 2v2 or a Triumph and Treachery, everyone can kind of have the mics on them because it's rather annoying right now that you got to kind of stand close or like talking to someone's chest in order to hear them properly, which is unfortunate. So if anyone here in chat has any ideas how to do that, that would be great because I don't think I'm smart enough, unfortunately, to figure that out. So yeah, for the guys that are here right now, what are your thoughts on the facts so far? Are you guys liking it, not liking it? You guys had many games in with it yet? And one thing I want to bring up is the studio is I think we're on target to have the studio pretty much done by middle of August. So I'm hoping to run our first live stream. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. First live stream sometime mid August. I've got a big block of like 23 days off, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of work and getting that up and running. Hopefully we can get enough of the audience out there, kind of watching the live stream, see if it's if it's something you guys are into. I know I will be. I love doing live streams. Ridgecraft, starting last week. Welcome to the old world. How are you enjoying so far? Have you played a game yet, or are you still doing the army building kind of stuff now? And also, what game did you come from prior to that? Yeah, Battle Chicken, me too. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. I've been tweaking a little bit with some with the beta rules that they put out there. Um, they're pretty good. I still feel like maybe some of the magic needs to come down a little bit with the points. Nice, Ridgecraft. I'm sorry, not the points, Battle Chicken. I meant with the casting cost on the spells. Some of them are still pretty high, like all those 10 pluses. I mean, they're supposed to be hard to get, but I think they're maybe like a little bit too difficult to get right now with the only the plus one, plus two. Uh, Ridgecraft, awesome. Going dwarves. Do you have any idea, like, kind of the direction you're looking at going? Is there like a certain build that you want to go, like lots of chowcopters or like there's a ton of infantry? Yeah, that's cool. Um, oh, way back, eh? Like, do you remember what edition you played back in the day? Yeah, that'd be a nice change. You're talking about the one when you get the once per, what is it? Is it a reroll once per game or something like that, or once per turn? I'm trying to remember the high elf one. I don't really play much high elf. My buddy plays a lot of high elves. Um, oh, nice. You are Ridgecraft. You're a seasoned vet, pretty much. Uh, you played longer than I have. I started playing. I can't remember what year it was. I think it was in grade like 7 or 8 is when I first started. It was fifth edition. Towards the end of fifth edition, beginning of sixth edition, I got in with the that Lisbon Bretonnia box set. That was my very first foray into fantasy. Um, yeah, yeah, Belching. I think it is like once per turn. You're right with the reroll. Yeah, it'd be nice to kind of bring it in, or I don't know, make it a little bit different maybe. Having them only as a once per game, I think, is a little bit of a too much of a disadvantage when, especially when your high elf brethren is essentially one for one the same, and they get to have that reroll every single turn. I think dark elves definitely need that, if not something slightly different to make it a little more thematic for them. Yeah, I felt it was a good time. Like I really enjoyed sixth edition. I'm glad I got in then. And then from sixth edition, played a bunch of seventh, played a lot of eighth, and then end times. I didn't really like. I just kept playing the core eighth through end times. I wasn't didn't really get too much into it, and then obviously everything died. I still played eighth through when Warhammer was kind of laid to rest there, or fantasy was laid to rest. Um, Played eighth, never played a couple games in ninth age, and but never really went back to eighth, and then again picked up Old World. Eighth had a lot of like really cool like I want to say like cinematic moments, if you know what I mean, like those massive spells that were going off, the big rank and flank, all that stuff was really cool in eighth edition. There also were some things that I would tweak. Like I thought, even though you were able to cast those big powerful spells in eighth, I felt like there wasn't enough risk versus reward for casting them because you might as well just throw all 6 dice at your spells at the ones you want to get off that would like pretty much destroy certain units in one turn. Because I got a miscast, but the spell still goes off. Whereas I still would like the double sixes being the irresistible force, double ones being the miscast, so you have that more risk reward. But yes, eighth, I did enjoy a lot of eighth. I feel like old world is by far. So far, anyway, I think it's my favorite. It's my favorite edition, especially for it being. I don't want to say new out of the gate because they've had 8 editions of Warhammer essentially, but for when they brought it back for it to be where it's at right now, I'm super happy with the edition. Of course, everyone has their complaints and everything, but oh yeah, Grimgor. Grimgor was an animal, definitely. He I've had to play against Grimgor several times with my buddy who was a hardcore Orcs and Goblins player, and I just tried to avoid Grimgor and his what was it they called, the Ard Boys? Is that what they were? Or Grimgor's what was his unit called? Anyways, try to avoid them as much as possible. Yeah, Richcraft, do you have a lot of people in your area that play? The Immortals. That's right. That's what they were called. The Immortals. Oh, really? Staff of GW got you out of the hobby? What happened there? Yeah, Richcraft. That's great to hear. Um, Old World always needs more players. I'm really happy that you're enjoying what you're seeing on YouTube. There's a lot of great content out there relying either into the lore, into the strategy tactics, the painting, or just straight up battle reports. There's a lot of great channels out there. They there's it's so much content for Old World, and I'm so happy that when I'm just chilling, painting or whatever, I can easily just go throw a battle report or like a how to paint video or anything like that. I'm loving where Warhammer Fantasy is right now. Oh, awesome. Whereabouts are you, Richcraft? I'm trying to put something in the works here to try to get more Old World being played by the community. Right now, it's kind of, I think, well, Horus Heresy just came out. It's new, so I think a lot of guys that are around here are playing Horus Heresy. I know Trench Crusade was pretty big around here for a while, and what else were they playing? Some 40k stuff, but we had a little Old World campaign that was held out at a local store not too long ago. That was a lot of fun. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm always trying to grow it, so that's my plan is really to have more and more people playing Old World and enjoying it. So the important part is just getting events out, and I think a lot of stores out there, I don't know if they just don't know where to start with Old World events, but around in my area here in like the Niagara Falls area in Canada, there's not a lot of events going on for Old World. I don't think there's even a lot of events going on really in general, unless you're playing like Magic the Gathering. It seems that seems to be like kind of the number one um, game around here anyway. So I think after this summer, I'm gonna make a big push to my local bricks and mortar store, see if we can get some events going on and move it around. So I would love to do like a tournament at one store, the next time do a tournament at another store, and keep doing that. So that just brings kind of shuffles the group around to all the stores, so they all get a chance to partake in the events. Yeah, real life stuff happens, Battle Chicken. Sometimes it's exactly what it is. It's all just a balancing act, trying to get everything, spend focus over here with your studies, still have enough time for your social life, play some Warhammer, play some whatever, do all your hobbies. It's a struggle, and I think we can pretty much all attest to that sometimes it's hard to make time for Warhammer. I try my best though. I try my best to do that to make time for Warhammer and to get games in with my gaming group. so that we keep Warhammer the interest like peaked up here instead of having a big lull and then people are just like, I don't really want to play that much anymore. But so far it's been going great around here with my gaming group. There's about 8 or 9 of us now that we play pretty regularly. I try to get in at least 2 games a week, which I'm very fortunate. I know a lot of people can't do that, but um, very fortunate with that. I'm thinking about my next one is going to be kind of like an escalation tournament and very, very new person friendly, I think, where we're going to start at like, I don't know, maybe 1250 points, go up to 1750, then 2250, something like that, so that it's just kind of gets people's feet wet in the tournament world. Nah, I feel ya. Yeah, family definitely takes priority over wargaming. I have 2 daughters myself, and with all their hobbies and everything that they have, and driving around everywhere, sometimes it'd be pretty difficult to try to squeeze a game in. I am kind of blessed with, well, I don't know if to say blessed, but I have a 4 on 4 off work schedule, so I have those four full days off that I can try to get a game in, which is pretty nice, which makes recording video possible. If I only had 2 days off, like most people do, I don't know if I'd be able to handle it working full time and working 5 days a week and then only having 2 off, and then try to record and edit videos in that time. Yeah, I don't think I could really do it. How familiar are you with the rules, Ridgecraft? You said I know you've been playing for a while, so a lot of the core rules are essentially the same as most other editions, especially if you played 8. A lot of the core rules are the same. Obviously, there's tweaks here and there to everything, but the nice thing about Warhammer is the combat is generally always the same. Shooting, all that stuff. The modifiers have been there, have the same modifiers that have been there for a very long time. Yeah, and for anyone else that's in the channel here watching, post up anything you want to ask. We can talk about it. I'm here for the next little bit. My wife and kids they're gone for the night, so it's just me and you guys. So let's get conversation going. Let's theory hammer some stuff. Talk about some rules, likes, dislikes, anything like that. I'll be on for a little bit here. So one thing I really want to do, and I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, is definitely get like a campaign going of some kind. Just looking at rule sets now to see what I like. I know my gaming group is also very interested in doing a campaign. I would love to get that recorded and have a really strong like narrative presence on YouTube with my Warhammer content. So once that studio is built, I plan on doing some very very narrative type stuff. I've been looking at like AI voiceovers and whatnot to kind of customize the intro videos and whatnot to make it a little more interesting. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, right? To kind of just go through your list and kind of work out what the most efficient list is for like the points that you can cram in there. There's so many different combinations that you can make. Dwarves are a lot of fun. They're probably I probably play them honestly probably the most. I like dwarves a lot. They're um they're challenging because of their low speed. I don't like to play gunline too much. I try to keep my dwarves on the move, even though it's difficult. They only move charge or march 6 inches, um, unless you're gonna bring the what's that called, the Anvil of Doom. Then maybe you get a little bit more movement of a unit. But I am loving the idea of like a full air force with with gyrocopters and bombers stuff like was the Expeditionary Force. I've got 6 gyrocopters now, 4 of them that aren't assembled. Um, so I'm still working on that, but I'm really excited to get like an Air Force super fast dwarf list going. I actually played a game. When was that? I think a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, where I took basically it was 2 gyrocopters and a gyro bomber, and it's just a standard dwarf list. And I kind of just thematically uh, kind of kept the copters and protecting the bomber as it flew in and flew over targets and whatnot and bomb stuff. It was a lot of fun. I like that. Oh, Battle Chicken, yes. Baggage carts. I am working with a buddy of mine right now, and we're modeling up baggage carts for every army. Like we have so many projects on the go, it's insane. So we're modeling up all the vortexes. I think we've got 6 done now. It's summer, so we're kind of like we got families, so we're kind of taking it a little bit slow. And then baggage carts is definitely something that I want to get going because I want like unique baggage carts for every army that I can kind of print. I don't know why I have these on. I'm not even talking through this. I don't know why I don't even do those. Yeah, the match play. I've done I think 4 or 5 games now of match play, and I'm loving it. It definitely changes how I'm making my list and how I'm playing, which I think is really good for something like that to do. Yes, core is mandatory. Like you have to take core now in order to cap any of the points. So the nice thing is some armories have a lot of different types of core. So you can run big blocks of infantry to kind of hold certain points. You can have your little fast cavalry units kind of running around the sides now to cap table quarters or other objectives that are a little further away. So the reintroduction of core being needed now is a welcome change to the game. And the fact that infantry now is really good. Um, some may say that it's a little bit too oppressive with the infantry, depending on the unit makeup and everything. But overall, the match play guide with the FAQ 1.5.1, everything is beautiful right now. I'm having a lot of fun with the game. Yeah, Battle Chicken. That's actually a really good idea. That would make a perfect, especially if you're doing like a Canite army using the Blood Cauldron. That'd be really cool. Baggage train. And Ridgecraft. Yeah, I'm really happy that I'm seeing less drag. Even from my high elf opponent, he's taking a lot less dragons now because of the match play and the change to the FAQ, which is good. Tanako, perfect. Thank you so much for responding to that. Yeah, it's literally like if I put my arm out like this, it's almost right there. So that's great that you can't hear it. Oh, this noise suppression is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Richcraft, like that's because again, you came from playing back in the day when that's kind of how the army makeups were. They were always like you had your big blocks of infantry, you had some cavalry to kind of support. Um, but those blocks of core, those blocks of like standard troops were always present in previous editions that at the beginning of Old World they weren't really there because of the way charging worked is that um, Cav and monsters were just supreme. So it is obviously a big like fine tuning that Games Workshop has to do because I don't want infantry to be so overpowered that Cav is useless because we kind of saw that in 8th edition where Cav wasn't really that great, I found, because having your horde of infantry was just way better. Um, so I'm hoping that they can find a good balance because they're always going to keep tweaking based on the meta and what people are doing right now. So we'll see how they balance everything going forward. Yeah, Tanako, I agree. It's I'm very very happy with the spot that with where infantry is right now. Now there are some tweaks I'd like to see. Like I don't agree with the charging and you don't get an extra rank. I would like to see where all infantry gets attack in two ranks just because of how they are. They're supposed to be fighting close together. They're deep. They should be fighting in two ranks. And I would like to change where parry. Maybe you only get the parry on if you're like on turns you don't charge. So that gives you the bonus for being defensive on the defense, but doesn't gut the infantry that are charging that much or are charging you that much. So I would like to see maybe that change come in. That'd be kind of nice. Because right now it's exactly what it is that two infantry are coming together, they stop, and it's like who's going to charge, who's going to charge, who's going to charge. Because there's really no benefit to charging right now. There are some units that are still really good at it. Like you're looking at, anything with furious charge. So you got Black Orcs, you got the Knights of the Realm on foot. Um, what else is there? Anything that's like as much as Frenzy got nerfed, Frenzy troops are still okay. Like they're good on the charge because you get the extra attack. But if you don't have those special rules to give you additional attack, it is rough right now charging into especially into Experience, which makes sense. Like I get like charging to Experience is very devastating if you only have a front rank attacks. It's very thematic, but as much as the thematic, you still have a game that needs to be balanced and everything needs to be fair there. Because when you look at like certain troops, what do we look like? The men at arms. Men at arms are basic goblins that can take hand weapon shield. Like you can give them for dirt cheap points a 4-up armor save, which is absolutely bonkers right now. So there needs to be a tweak with points, a tweak with how parry works. I think. Yeah, exactly, Tanako. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying is because how do I explain it? I think if infantry is on the attack and defense both got two ranks of attacks, it's not going to break anything. It's not going to make me stop taking cav and charging cav into them. I'm going to use cav differently. I'm not going to send my block of 5 knights or 6 7 knights going headstrong into a full stack of infantry. No, I'm going to use them probably how they're supposed to be used and more as a flanking force or going in with infantry at the same time as support. So I think it's just like again, as more games get played, people are going to start seeing how to use different troops properly, what's effective, and that's going to start changing people's minds on this whole infantry thing. I think because I've had a lot of success so far where my opponent hasn't charged me, he doesn't want to charge because he's sitting there with his spears and everything. It's like okay, okay, okay. Then I just position myself where I know that's gonna be like, okay, he's gonna keep sitting there, so I'm gonna have my infantry sit there, but they're gonna come around with another block of something, come around and flank them as I charge, or charge to the front with them to get that many more attacks. Yeah, the unfortunate part now is as the rules are written for Bretonia, is I think the lance is dead. I think the lance formation is 100% dead. There's too many negatives now to taking the lance. Especially against infantry that have like 2 attack base, or you're able to give an extra attack. It's it the the Knights of the Realm just don't have the punch with the new rules anymore. Like they're only strength 3 base, toughness 3, 3-up armor save, which is good. Don't get me wrong, the armor save is good. Standard for Knights, really. Um, but with the wording that everyone in the fighting rank gets to attack them, now you have 2 ranks, and if they have multiple attacks, that's a lot of attacks going against that unit. They're gonna get destroyed. To compensate for that now, like if I'm charging with Knights of the Realm, I think I need to set up for double charges always now. Like that essentially to me is the only thing that's really gonna make them work now. Yeah, Richcraft, I agree. Like Lance was is like thematically Lance is amazing. I love it. I don't remember what it was in six, to be honest. That was quite a long time ago. What was the lance formation in sixth edition, Tanako? But yeah, Ridge, the lance right now, like it's what I think about a massive night charge. It's just this massive wedge, you know, coming down and just penetrating right through the enemy lines and just going deep and running right through. Like to me, like that's so thematic. It reminds me of uh when the Rohirrim, right? When you're watching Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, when they're charging down the hill and they're just running through the orc lines. That's what I picture the lance formation doing. Oh, I do remember that, Tanaka. I do remember that that was just a three wide. I still think on the tabletop right now, Bretonia is probably one of the most beautiful armies on the tabletop. Just the colors, the lance formation, just I think it's just an absolute gorgeous army. So I'm painting my Bretonia where they're all the same. All the Knights of the Realm are all the same color. I'm going the classic red and blue. But then my questing knights, my Grail knights, those are the ones that are like the different colors to kind of stand out on the table. Um, and every time I look at them, I'm like, these are absolutely like I just get so happy every time I feel the Bretonian army. As much as I like playing Bretonia, I agree that I think the Pegasus Knights classic issue with Pegasus Knights since the beginning of Old World. They need to be fixed. Something needs to change with them. And is it as easy as just making them monster? What is it? Monstrous creatures? Is that the fix for us so they don't have the 360 line of sight? Is that too much of a nerf, you think? Or is that going to be enough where they're still going to be taken? They're just not going to be as good. Or is it not even them? Is it the Duke that just needs? Because realistically, I'm just trying to think about when I use my Pegasus Knights by themselves. Are they really doing a lot of work? They're running down things like artillery crew. They're running down things like archers and whatnot, which is kind of what they're meant to do. That's the idea of Pegasus Knights. But really, what I see that when they turn into like soul crushing units is really when that Duke is in there. He, the Duke being able to charge 360. I think that's what actually breaks Peg Knights. So Peg Knights right now, Ridgecraft is they are classified as monstrous cavalry. So and they can skirmish. So the issue is that their line of sight when in skirmish formation is 360. So that means that they can now charge. Their arcs don't matter. They can charge this way, that way, that way, this way, whatever they want. It doesn't matter. So it makes them where they can just get behind your lines and charge you in the rear or charge anything around, and there's no worry. They're they're too mobile. That's the problem. Too mobile with strength six attacks coming in. Um, and then the issues with the Duke. The Duke's a very powerful character, very powerful when you factor in the magic items he can get, and then also the what are the virtues? Yeah, the virtues that he can also add, like virtue knightly temper, for example. You on the turn he charges, he gets hatred and plus D3 attacks, I believe it is. Dude's already like weapon skill 6 or 7, strength 5 base. He's just a beast. Not to mention all the other magical equipment, and he can then charge 360 when he's on a Royal Pegasus. So again, it's one of those things where you can't hide from him. You can't try to get out of his arc. It doesn't matter because he just flies 360 and just charges into whatever he wants. Right, Tanako. Yeah, like if they had to be, let's say, open order only, then they would be a lot less of a pain in the butt. They would still be good, don't get me wrong, because you can do your normal move, and then you can then do a free wheel or a free turn at the end of your movement. But that's only 90 degrees. They can't just like fly over your max distance, and they can only move their normal movement. Whereas right now, you can move double your movement to fly over whatever you want, and then face because your facing doesn't matter. Then you can then rear charge something on the next turn, and they're just very difficult to deal with. Outside of just trying to shoot them to death, you're never going to catch them. So no infantry or cav should ever catch Pegasus Knights. So they dictate the battlefield. They dictate what happens on the battlefield, which is very powerful in a game where movement is so like you can win the game in the movement phase by how you maneuver around people. Did I kind of explain that okay, Ridgecraft? I'm not sure. I kind of went on a tangent there about stuff, and I tend to do that. I get a little excited when I talk about Warhammer. Yeah, it's not. I'm guessing you take the Grapos. Those are definitely devastating to Peg Knights for sure. That speaking of the Grapos, whatever that they get, man, Ushapti are probably like one of my favorite shooting. They're expensive, sure, but I mean, what is it? Strength 6. Is it -1 AP, 2 damage? Whew. Yeah, Rich Cross, taking skirmish away would be a quick fix, but it's the question is it really? So I like narrative stuff. I like thematic. I like narrative. So Peg Knights to me wouldn't be flying in kind of like this super like close formation, if you will. They're flyers. They're kind of all around. They're kind of like in a gaggle, a gaggle, sure. Where they're just in kind of like a very very loose formation as they're flying through the air. I think it would be kind of weird for to see like these Pegasus Knights with their wings trying to fly and like what would be a close order formation or sorry a open order formation, which is still relatively close. Yeah, -1. Oh, armor bait 2, right? Yeah, so I had those 6s. That's just knocking out the armor. So there's a lot of hate for undead right now, and I I don't know. Like I get the arguments with undead is that they're not playing the same game as everybody else. They have a lot of compounding rules that makes them really good. I agree to a certain extent. Um, I think undead narratively, thematically, feel like I would be fighting undead. The total grind of trying to get through a bunch of skeletons. Is there tweaks that could be done to them? Yes, I think that um, the extra regen for the crumbling didn't really need to happen. It didn't really need to happen. So I don't think that was something we needed to make them even slightly more powerful. Like I played against my wife; she plays Tomb Kings. I haven't come into a lot of instances where that has been like a game breaking kind of mechanic that they get it on the regen, say on the crumbling. But like I have always found success, and obviously, like I'm not playing super competitive, so there's gonna be players that play undead that are really good at maneuvering and everything. But I always just try to double charge a unit to try to break through the first turn. That's kind of what you need to do. You got to focus fire one unit at a time with undead to grind them down. And I've had success with that. Obviously, it doesn't work every single time, Um, but I mean, there's ways to deal with them. Now, vampire counts, I have in this edition. I have little experience with playing vampire counts. Nobody in my group around here kind of plays them. Yeah, Tanako, exactly. Like it's I don't like things where there's no interaction, right? So like the that being used in the command phase, there's no way for your other player. They're just gonna sit back and take it. Like I just gotta hope that you fail. Excuse me, that you fail your leadership check. Which I mean, your leadership is I think on what Lich Priest is 7, then on the sorry Mortuary Priest is 7, then whatever the higher one is 8. I think right. So if that's the case, that just means that statistically, like you're going to get it off because you have a greater chance of rolling sevens with between either being a 5 and a 2, a 6 and a 1, a 3 and a 4. You know, like you have a greater chance of hitting a 7, which means that's more likely going to be going off. Yeah, right. And then the BSB being near them gets the reroll. Yeah, right. So I would have preferred it to be where yes, I can dispel it. I don't like the way that their resing was. Tomb King's resing was it with eighth, where it was like every spell. I think it was the lore tribute or whatever, where like you could, when you cast a spell on your troops, you got to res units back that way. I didn't like that. I prefer the undead method of like invocation to hex style, where it's just like a dedicated spell that you're casting. That's how I wish that it was because then then your opponent doesn't feel bad because it's not like I can't stop this from happening. Like it's just happening, and then there's nothing that I can do to interact with right now to do it aside from trying to kill your Hierophant, which any good Tomb Kings player is going to castle in between a bunch of stuff. It's going to be very difficult to do. So yeah, exactly right. Like it, there's nothing I can do to stop you from getting it. But um, that's kind of the thing though. You have to in this edition with Old World, the objective that you have to have with Undead is just focus target one unit, grind it down with combat res, and try to get rid of it right there like one turn, which is very difficult to do. X amount of wounds, but I've had it with. I played a lot of Bretonia against my wife. Those are the two armies that we bought first for Old World, obviously, and we played those the most. And that was when I would grind when I would try to send in like two lances into one unit just to try to smoke it and get it taken out quick, and then that way the resing doesn't happen. But that's the issue, right? With undead, if you don't kill them all, like if there's even one guy left, um, someone's taking two lich priests. There's probably what 10 skeletons potentially coming back, like 8 to 10 skeletons coming back, and then you're flank charged because they've held you in place. So I definitely understand the frustration with undead, um, but I still like playing against them. I like playing as undead. I like playing against undead. If they were the only army I was playing against, yeah, that would kind of be very frustrating because it's just the same grind every single game. And that's kind of what I did in 8th edition. 8th edition, I was a big Vampire Counts player. So I kind of feel bad now for my opponent knowing what I had to go against, what he was going against every single time. Yeah, sorry, topics anybody wants to hit? Like I'm just here just chatting. So if there's anything you want to talk about, bring up, whatever, we can talk about whatever you want. Warhammer related. Warhammer related. You know what? No, anything. What do you want to talk about? I don't have to go to work until midnight or until 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. What's your guys' take on the impetuous change now? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Oh, you're gonna be one of those. Are you gonna go scream list, Tanako? Is that what you're gonna do? Yeah, I guess that's the biggest frustration is I think the screams. The people bring like I don't even know how many screams, but they're just throwing screams at it, and nothing can really stand up to that for the most part. Oh, I just realized that's also green, and it's show through. I gotta keep that in mind next time I dress to come on here. Let's see here. My off screen is over there. There we go. Yes, I do Ridgecraft. I am very confident that's happening. I thought they did I hear they are doing that? Anyways, so apparently Old World has beat their expectations of what this game was going to do. Um, it is making them a boatload of money right now. So you can just look at it. Look at they have said that Old World was going to be a specialist game that they're going to give you all the rules for it, and that's going to be it. Nothing's going to get touched. Well, we have got a brand new army. Like, if a game is not, if they're not looking for longevity of a game, why would you bring out an army, a brand new army with the range that it has, plus come out two arcane journals for it, and a named character that the sculpts look beautiful. That they definitely took their time with Grand Cathay. So I definitely see this coming into a 3-year rotation because you got to think even Horus Heresy, like that was a specialist game. That was one of those games where it was, hey, this is what it is. We're not. We were just going to give you this edition. It stayed there for a long time. Now look at it. Second edition came out. Now we're on the third edition. So it all like there's no reason why with when you're getting the sales that you're getting is why you would keep Old World to being just a one and done system. There's no reason for it. So it is definitely going to be in a rotation for every 3 years. It's going to get updates. It's going to get support. I am anticipating a new. Well, we're still expecting Kislev to come out, which is probably going to be a second edition force army. I'm guessing. Um, just because we're already we're over a year and a half through this edition, right? It came out was it January 2023? 2024. 2024. It came out. Um, we've had well, not new armies. We've had the armies in the books pushed out at a great rate. I mean, typically in even in old Games Workshop for Warhammer, you'd be having what sometimes like your codex would be coming out right at the end of the cycle, and then immediately, boom, you're going into the next edition. So the fact that we've gotten this all out in essentially a year and a half, all the books and arcane journals, aside from Cathay's arcane journals, is out. They're coming out with a campaign book, Cetra's Wrath, with more lists coming out in there. So they're definitely investing the time, which 100% makes me believe this is going to be part of the normal rotation. Now that can be good and bad. If there's going to be a lot of rules bloat, tweaking, army blow, stuff like that, we'll see. Oh, I used to play Infinity quite a bit with a buddy of mine. Infinity was a lot of fun. Never tried BattleTech though. I played what did I play? I played 40K very briefly. I've got a 30K army. Old World is my main game. Bolt Action, which is a World War II game by Warlord Games. Um, Malifaux. I played Infinity for a bit. What else did I play? I think that's pretty much it. I just ordered the Hero Quest, the new game. I have the old one from like the 90s when I was a kid. Still, some of the stuff is broken, unfortunately. Like the Barbarian sword, I think is ripped off. But I want to paint that up and I'm thinking about doing like a little. campaign, of us all playing that game. Right? I think that's what everyone's expectation was for the old world. Like the way they were trying to sell it when they were dropping their little hints was that it's just like it's kind of on the back burner. We're doing it. We're adding stuff to it while we can or when we can. We'll keep you updated as we go. So they kind of were very like nonchalantly just like I don't know if they were intentionally dogging us with what their plan was with this game or if they just totally thought it was going to be a low launch. Just here you go, guys. Here's your rank and flake game. This is what you guys want. This is what you're getting. And now that it's blown up, they had to have reconsidered their approach with Old World and where they want to go. Ten Thunder is nice. Yeah, I did a lot with the Dreamer. I think this was it called the Dreamer. The kid with Chompy, Chompy. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, well, I had my brother and I played that a lot together, and that was we had a lot of foreground. We did kind of like an old western style looking city because it's supposed to be set in like a mining town or something like that, right? Yeah, Malifaux is really cool. Different game. It's no dice. It's for those that don't know, it's no dice. It's all cards, and it's like you have your creature card, whatever your stat line for your creatures are, and then you're using cards to power up your abilities, and then there's certain abilities that hit another trigger um based on the what do you call it? Based on the suit basically. And then if you put down that suit when you're trying to buff up your or when you're trying to attack it, like triggers another ability on top of that ability that goes with it. So it's really cool with like trying to like resource management in your hand of the cards. Right, exactly, Tanako, yeah. Yeah, Richcraft, that is honestly a concern of mine as well. Um, all those games have gone. I don't want to say that in a simplified format, but when you compare it to games like Old World and Fantasy, like it is kind of a very simplified format, and I don't like that. I like the complexity of Old World and the depth of Old World. Um, and I also don't like games where, like for example, in 40K with the amount of stratagems and all that stuff that was in previous editions, I don't have time to memorize every single army that I'm playing against to know all the tricks that's going to happen. Because otherwise, when you play against an opponent who does know all that, there's no way to there's no way to counter what they're going to do because you have no idea what stratagems they're going to be playing. It wasn't a good thing. I also don't like games where if a unit looks at another unit, that unit is just pulled off the table because they're dead. I remember when I played, I think it was ninth edition. It was the last one I played, and I had my Thousand Suns army. I was like, okay, cool. It's just a small army, nothing crazy. And a guy at a local store said he'd do a intro game for me. I'm like, okay, cool. And he was Tyranids, and he brought some giant creature that it was like he was rolling buckets of dice, and everything they looked at just died. I'm like, all right, well, I think that's the end of 40K for me. That's not for me. I love the lore of 40K. I love the models of 40K. I think the lore in 40K/30K is definitely a lot more rich than Old World. Unfortunately, there's just not enough books out and whatnot for Old World or fantasy in general. I find. Yeah, Belichick and I agree. I, Again, like I'm not that crowd that plays competitive. Like I'll play if somebody wants to play a competitive game, I will be more than happy to make a competitive list and play. I just love playing Warhammer in general, but it's unfortunate that GW responds to the cries and whatever of the competitive world more than the narrative side because it seems like they get what they want or the changes are directed towards them more than it is towards the narrative. Which again, the only thing that the metric that GW has is from tournaments. It's the only way they measure the metrics is what's going on at tournaments because that's the only place where people are congregating enough to play Warhammer is that tournament. So it's not like they're coming into our basements and like trying to get feedback from us in our basements as we play our narrative games, right? Which is unfortunate because the it's just they're the most vocal group and the loudest voices win. That's just how it works in the world. So I've been tweaking the settings as well. Um, are you guys noticing any stuttering or anything like that with the stream? I don't think I have too much loss here as far as it goes for drop frames or anything. Yeah, yeah, like you're gonna get that in for Old World 2, Rich. I've seen a bunch of videos where people are like ranking the top core units, ranking the top special units and whatnot. I just think that's just people are just trying to make content in general by throwing out whatever claims that they want there and what's the best. In the end, it is this is a dice game, and you're comparing statistics and or stat lines and looking at the statistics of hitting and wounding and stuff. So like a lot of people do like getting into the whole like math side, the math hammer, if you will, of probability in this game. I'm more about I want to create good, like really compelling story when I play. Like I love the idea of playing with a bunch of friends and like, oh man, that you were about to win the game with this cast of the wizard, but then he miscast and blew himself up. That changed the tide of the battle. That is what I want Warhammer for. I don't want to go in there and smash my opponent. That's not fun for me. It's not fun for my opponent. Um, I don't like I honestly don't like tabling anyone. It's not something I do. I don't try to make competitive lists. I try to make lists that I think are cool. Sometimes just the lists that I think are cool, unfortunately, do become kind of powerful in that way, which does lead to a table wipe, unfortunately. But all right, perfect, Richcraft. Thanks for that. Yeah, the like I said, there's the people play how they want, and it's I'm not going to shame anyone for playing competitively. I'm not going to do that. It's what they enjoy, and in Warhammer, I want you to enjoy the game of how you want to play it. Who am I? Who is anyone to dictate what's fun for you, right? And I really hope that as you come into the old world, that you don't meet anyone that tries to force you to play a certain way. You play how you want. You enjoy the game how you want. That's kind of my thing with tabletop gaming. Everyone is doing this as a hobby. Everyone, especially as we get older, our priorities change. So maybe we get less games in. So I don't want to ruin someone's fun because they're only able to get one game a month or one game every 2 months in. I don't want to dictate how they can play their game because their time is their time. So as much as I prefer playing a certain way, um, I'm more than happy to play however my opponent wants to play. If he wants to do like a super narrative, you know, I'm probably gonna lose scenario like custom scenario, but it's just about holding out whatnot. Heck yeah, let's roll the dice. You want to play a super grindy competitive type game? You know what? I'll do that with you. That's fair. You know what? That's the exception. You give crap to your brother. Family is exempt from what I'm talking about. But that's honestly like my biggest complaint with playing tabletop games is the people out there who tell others that how they're playing is stupid or that they don't like it or why are you playing that way. It's not impacting that person at all. There's just a couple of friends that are getting together that are playing a game, that are enjoying the game for how they're playing it. No one has the right to tell you how to do anything of how to play a game, how to enjoy your time. Obviously, if you're going to a tournament or event, yeah, you got to play within within the confines of that tournament. But any friendly game is play it how you guys want to play it. Don't let anyone try to bully you into playing a certain way or to building an army a certain way. It's your own journey, man. That's what I love about playing Warhammer and building my armies. Like I have a cool concept in my mind. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't work, that's cool too. I'm having a blast playing it the way that I want to play it. Yeah, because that's what you enjoy. That's again like winning a game of Warhammer isn't everything. It's all about um it's all about the story that I can tell afterwards about what happened. That's what gets me going. That's what I like is those clutch moments that you have or key moments that you have um, that you can tell your buddies or like a gaming group that happen in your tournament. You have a discussion about it. Like I love on my when I play on my when I record videos and I have a game where like nothing it was just like a standard game of Warhammer, nothing interesting happened. I honestly like I'm like, oh man, that was unfortunate. Because there's so many cool things that can happen in Warhammer. Like I love it. For those I uploaded a members only video that it's a Skaven versus Empire one, and I was Skaven. And there is a cool moment where my warlock engineer got behind his general and was about to like tap him in the back of the head with his warpfire musket, and he only had one wound left. And of course, what happened? I rolled a one, so that means that something happened with the warpfire ammunition. And then if you roll a one again, you lose a wound. And guess what? I rolled a one, so I just pictured him kind of coming up right behind the right behind the general, cocking the gun, about to end him, and then boom, blows himself up. Like that. That's an awesome moment for me. So like I really love those really cool moments that happen in Warhammer, and every time I record, I hope that something funny happens like that. Just because, like I said, it creates a cool storyline and something I could talk about with people, and for the community to see and enjoy. I never go into my videos like I don't care if I win going to my videos. I don't have that ego where I have to win on camera. I don't care. I am there for the story. I am there to create great content, interesting content. That's kind of what I'm there for. And like you always have those moments where it's like an Orc Goblin player releases Fanatics, and then all of a sudden they go right back into their alliance. They kill something that they shouldn't. Like those moments is what keeps me going in Warhammer. There's so many of them that happen. It's crazy. The dice really add like such a fun randomness to the game. Yeah, because if I'm just playing a game where like I know what the outcome's gonna be and like it's just all status quo and everything, like I know, okay, well my weapon skill's four, your weapon skill's three. I know I'm gonna or gonna hit four guys. I know I'm gonna wound two guys, and that's exactly what happens. It's like, it's not interesting. It's not fun. It's just I know what the outcome's gonna be. So you add in the dice, which the dice gods are fickle, my friends, very fickle. They can get with one hand they give, with one hand the other hand they take away. So yeah. I'm also pretty happy. I was having an issue with my what's it called? My USB card thing that I have that I put in failing all the time. So I switched around my setup, and this hasn't given out yet. So I think I solved the issue, which is good. I'm not sure. I mean, I bought like a cheap PCI Express slot thing on Amazon, so maybe I just have to buy a better quality one. But I think I'm gonna end it here, guys. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and thank you so much for spending time with me. And I love talking with you guys. I can talk about Warhammer all the time. Um, so probably do another one of these maybe sometime, better timing and everything. Like I said, I'm off for all of August. I plan on crushing through a lot of content in August when it comes to videos. So you're probably going to get more videos than normal in August because I want to try and just put as much as I can out there for you guys. You guys have a great one. Good night. Happy wargaming, guys.